Hey guys, I'm back with another video. It's going to be opening for a patron, Keith Philibin today. Same deal that we're going to have with all the $25 patron openings this month. If this deck happens to have Brobnar in it, you are going to get an additional Mass Mutation deck next month whenever we open that up. So either way, you're going to be happy with this deck, I would hope. Either it's a good one, or you hit Brobnar and you get an additional Mass Mutation deck. Alright, good luck, Keith Philibin. Green Archon. First house. Oh! Well, you've earned yourself an additional Mass Mutation deck. It'd be hilarious if this deck is also good on top of that. Shadows, second house, and Logos is the third house. 5 out of 6 decks have been Brobnar in this box. I cannot believe it. Priest, Undercity Warrior. Simple, great name. Awesome Archon, love that picture, very cool. Alright, good luck to you. And just in case you're new here, this is the first video you've happened to see of mine. The reason why I have this going on, Brobnar and Worlds Collide, my gosh, it is just absolutely horrendous. So many things went wrong with it, and it just brings every single deck's power level way down. Alright, we're going to start off with, oh, this is a nice card. Shadows, Mac the Knife, 3-power elusive. You may use Mac the Knife as if it belonged to the active house. Action, deal 1 damage to a creature. If this damage destroys that creature, gain 1 amber. I love this card so much simply because, well, I mean, any house can use it, right? That's a great card, but the fact that it has elusive on top of that, it's hard to get off the board. And even if you can't use the action part, just reaping with it every turn is really solid. Subtle Chain, amber every plate. Your opponent discards a random card from their hand. Fidget, 2-power elusive, reap, discard a random card from your opponent's archives or the top card of their deck. If that card is an action, play it as if it were yours. Oh, a second Fidget, that's awesome. Umbra, 2-power skirmish, fight, steal an amber. Trust no one, steal 1 amber. If there are no friendly creatures in play, instead steal 1 amber for each house represented among enemy creatures to a maximum of 3. Pestering Blow, amber every play, deal 1 damage to a creature and enrage it. J. Vinda, 2-power elusive, reap, deal 1 damage to a creature. If this damage destroys that creature, steal an amber. Hugger Mugger, 3-power elusive, play, capture an amber. Then if your opponent has more forged keys than you, steal an amber. Hawk, amber at every play, destroy an artifact. If you do, gain an amber. Bad Penny, 1 power destroyed, return Bad Penny to your hand. A. Vinda, 4-power reap, deal 1 damage to a creature. If this damage destroys that creature, your opponent discards a random card from their hand. Okay, well you got both Vindas to go along with that Bad Penny, so not too bad being able to get both those effects. Now we're on to Logos, Universal Recycle Bin. It's an artifact, and whenever you play it. Action, archive a purged card you own. This might be good tech against heavy purge decks. Group Think Tank, 4-power, 3 armor. Action, deal 4 damage to each creature that shares a house with at least one of its neighbors. Wild Wormhole, and whenever you play it, play the top card of your deck. Ooh, a second Wild Wormhole. Twin Bolt Emission, amber whenever you play it, deal 2 damage to a creature and 2 damage to a different creature. Titan Guardian, 5-power, 1 armor, taunt, destroyed. If it is not on a flank, draw 2 cards. Sanitation Engineer, 4-power, hazardous 1, reap, discard a card from your hand. Quant, 3-power, reap, you may play 1 non-Logos action card this turn. Information Exchange, steal an amber. If your opponent stole amber from you on their previous turn, steal 2 instead. Looking good, Logos. Hapsis, 5-power. After an enemy creature is destroyed, fighting Hapsis, ward Hapsis, and draw a card. Wow. And a Daughter, 2-power elusive. During your draw card step, refill your hand to 1 additional card. Cutthroat Research, amber whenever you play it. Steal 2 amber if your opponent has 8 or more. And now we're on to Brobnar. That was a good-looking Logos. Right creatures, good actions. On to Brobnar now. It's Smith. Amber whenever you play it. Gain 2 amber if you control more creatures than your opponent. Not bad. Ragwarg. This was in the last deck that had Logos and Brobnar together. It's an artifact, amber whenever you play it. After a creature reaps, if it is the first time a creature is reaped this turn, deal 2 damage to it. Ogopogo, 6-power. After it attacks and destroys a creature, you may deal 2 damage to a creature. Warrior's Refrain, amber whenever you play it. Not so good in a Shadows Logos deck. Stun each creature with power 3 or lower. Shorty, 4-power, assault 4, reap, enrage Shorty. Narp, 8-power, 1 armor. Narp's neighbors cannot reap. Oh man, Brobnar. Mog Hunter, 6-power, fight. Deal 2 damage to a flank creature. Ire Staff, it's an artifact. Amber whenever you play it. Action, enrage a creature. Give that creature a +1 power counter. Gron 9-Toes, 5-power, gets +4 power while it's damaged. Well, I gotta say, you got some bigger creatures in here, at least when it comes to the Brobnar. Grok, 5-power, fight your opponent, loses 1 amber. Calfine, 5 power. Before the fight, deal 2 damage to each neighbor of the creature Calfine fights. And Barn Raising. For the remainder of the turn, your opponent loses an amber each time a friendly creature fights. Wait a minute, we just saw Brobnar with no 2-power creatures? This is madness! Oh my gosh, wow. Okay, so I mean, Brobnar's still awful. I mean, you got the Warrior's Refrain. Real bad when combined with those other houses. Let's get our amber up. And Brobnar wasn't too bad once again, which is just so weird to me. Brobnar is not supposed to be an amber house, right? Yet somehow, it always seems to involve like blood money or Smith that's doing it, but somehow Brobnar always ends up having those cards and gets quite a bit of amber in these decks lately. Okay, let's see. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Huh. That's not bad. Also included the Hawk getting 2 amber, and we really didn't have use for this, so great target even if your opponent doesn't have artifacts. Let's get our amber control up, which the shadows and logos seem to be okay with. Pull those up. Ooh, Barn Raising, actually, because we have a lot of Brobnar creatures in here that should survive and should be able to get a decent amount of fights out of those guys. Let's see, Hugger Mugger. Javinda, Umbra. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I won't count that. 6, 7. 7 isn't too bad. Now, quite a few of those are attached to creatures. These 3 actually have to be used to be able to get that amber control. The Hugger Mugger, Barn Raising, not so much. Same with Information Exchange, Trust No One. Not bad at all, and the fact that these are reusable is pretty sweet. Alright, let's get our creatures up. I know there was a pile in Brobnar. Felt like logos had a decent amount. Trying to recall, shadows might have been right around the average, so let's see here. This deck is not terrible for having Brobnar, but that's kind of how this box has been. Alright, 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 21. Wow. A deck that has this amount of amber control with a decent amount of amber and this many creatures, that's pretty good. This deck doesn't really have any synergy across houses, but I will say this, each deck in this house is really good within itself. So it kind of does what it's supposed to do. Shadows has the steals, Logos is helping you move through your deck, Brobnar, you got some decent fighters and it's helping control the board. So on that very basic level, this deck isn't too bad. You even have like Fidgets helping, doing a little disruption as well as that subtle maul. I mean, this could take care of your opponent's archives or potentially get some actions. That is essentially some card draw, get you some advantage there. Think Tank can get you some advantage, the Guardian, Sanitation Engineer, look at this, Quant, Hapsis, Daughter, it's just helping you move through. All these Brobnar creatures, basically getting either some free damage in some way, shape, or form. Ogopogo doing it to a flank creature, knocking a creature out with the assault damage, not getting any damage in return. Narp reduces some, can survive a couple of fights. Mog Hunter getting the additional 2. Grot Nine Toes being able to take out 2 creatures. Calfine, I mean, that's really good. You also have, let's see, let's get to some more of the Logos cards. Wild Wormholes pushing you through your deck a little bit. This isn't great, but it's also not bad. Look at all these cards that are just getting some sort of card advantage, and Mac the Knife is also part of that as well. So hold on, I want to see exactly how many Brobnar creatures were in here. I think that Barn Raising is going to be a pretty good Amber Control card. And, I mean, if I saw this Brobnar in one of my Worlds Collide decks, as long as the other houses were good, I would not complain about this thing one bit. I mean, sure, Irestaff, Warrior's Refrain, Ragwork, not that great, but honestly, 3 or 4 cards out of entire Brobnar house not being that great, that's better than the average. I'm telling you, it's usually 6+ that are horrible. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, 7 Brobnar creatures. Very nice. Very, very nice. And the fact that they're big bodies is really cool. And I definitely wouldn't be using the Ragwork. You don't want to drop it down. Where are you? Right here. We have so many of our own creatures this is going to take out that are really good in this deck. Things like the Daughter, the 2 Fidgets. I know there's a couple others. Let's see, Javinda. There's a Vinda. But Javinda, you want to be able to keep these Reap options available for you. And I just really highly suggest not playing the Ragwork unless you plan on comboing it with the Hawk. And now having the friendly reminder that Ragorg is in here, Hawk should be able to get us that 2 amber. Obviously you want to save for your opponent's artifacts, but you do have 2 fairly useless artifacts in here that are getting you amber whenever you play them, and then turning Hawk into a 2 amber card, so not terrible. I don't really see too many bad hits with your wild wormholes, so that's pretty good. Also the Quant, you know, I said earlier, this deck doesn't really have great crosshouse energy, so there really isn't a great card to combine with this. Like, you don't want to play a Barn Raising on a Logos turn. You don't want to fight with your Logos creatures. They're all pretty small for the most part, other than Titan Guardian being a 5 power. Something like Smith is acceptable. And then there was like maybe the Subtle Chain. And that's the only thing I could think of. Okay, Trust No One, not too bad either. Quant, which is usually a card that helps you move through your deck, maybe sets up some really huge plays with things like Song of the Wild if you have Untamed. This deck doesn't really seem to have any of those great plays. Alright Keith, well I hope you like this deck. Great news, next month I'm going to be sending you an additional Mass Mutation deck. So honestly, it doesn't even matter what's in this deck. Alright guys, well thank you very much for watching my videos, and I'll see you next time.